Welcome to another episode of My Favourite Bakes. This week I am baking lime and coconut. Now I've made this lime and coconut cake so many times. Most people like it. It gives you a taste of like tropical times. You've got the coconut in there, you've got the lime, and lime is not as sour as lemon, so it's a real nice addition to a cake. And what's really good about this recipe is that it's an all-in-one recipe. Everything goes in the bowl at the same time. You mix it for 2 to 3 minutes and then it goes in the oven. While it's in the oven, you make your sugar syrup with the lime juice and sugar. And then when it comes out of the oven, you pour that on, and that's it. It's such an easy recipe. Now, the recipe is from this book. I don't know if this is the latest edition. McDougall's The Better Baker's Guide. If you look on the back of McDougall's flour, it gives you information about how you can actually buy the book. And I've bought 2 or 3 over the years. This is, I think, one of the newer editions, but this one is the one that I use, which is, the covers come off, but it's really old, because can you see, the flour doesn't look like that anymore. So this is the one that I use. Here's the recipe here. Again, I think a sign of a good recipe is the fact that you have all the mess it is. It's not exactly clean, is it? This is it here. It doesn't look like that when it's done though. You always find with recipe books, it always looks completely different to when you do it. But this is it here. This is the recipe here. And yes, we're going to make it, and then I'm going to have a slice. I know it tastes amazing, but it's, like I say, such a good cake, such a good recipe. And because it's an all-in-one recipe, or what they call it here, one-stage recipe, none of this separate, having to do separate creaming with the sugar and egg one at a time. All in, mix it up in the oven. Let's go and make it. Here is the butter. Make sure it's at room temperature. I'm adding the flour here. Then I'm going to add the golden caster sugar. It doesn't have to be golden, you can use normal everyday caster sugar. Then goes in desiccated coconut. Then we have the eggs that have been whisked with a little bit of vanilla extract. I always put vanilla extract into my eggs, whether the recipe calls for it or not. That goes in. And now we're going to grate the rind of the lime. This obviously helps give the cake a lime taste, and you have the flecks of the lime rind in the cake. So you grate it all in. And then the recipe calls for a tablespoon of milk. I didn't have milk, so I added water. It doesn't really make that much difference whether it is water or milk because of the small quantity. And then you mix it all up. Mix it well for 2 to 3 minutes. Make sure it's all combined so that it looks like this. And then once it looks like this, you can put this into your loaf tin. Now, the loaf tin, here's the loaf tin with the loaf tin liner. So much easier to have the liner there so you don't have to fiddle about with baking paper. Fill it all in and make sure as you put in the mixture that it's all level. Like this, and then that goes into the oven for 45 minutes. While that's in the oven, you're going to make your syrup. So we've got the golden caster sugar in there, and then what I'm going to do is squeeze the lime into the container. This lime, unfortunately, wasn't that juicy. A little bit dry, surprisingly. So I didn't get as much juice out of it as I wanted. But it was. I suppose it was enough, really. Just juicing the lime to the container. So you see the juice there. What we're going to do now is mix it all up so that the sugar dissolves into the juice as much as possible, like that. And then once the cake comes out, we're going to drizzle this lime syrup onto it. Cake is all done, and here's me drizzling the lime syrup over it. So you've drizzled that on, and then take the cake out of the tin and you leave it to cool down, ready to eat. All done. Yes, this is 2 days after, which is why I'm wearing different clothes. I find when you bake cakes, especially loaf cakes and layer cakes, having them 1 or 2 days after you bake them, the cakes always taste better because it's had time, the flavors have had time to kind of marinade and everything. So this is the cake. This is it cut. I like the back of the cake, the back of the loaf cake. A lot of people don't like the back. I love it. My favorite part of the loaf cake. I know it's going to taste, but I'm still going to taste it for you. Mmm, mmm, mmm. Lovely and tender. You've got the coconut in there. You can taste the lime in there. And as much as we mix the lime juice with the sugar, it doesn't take away from the kind of little kick that lime has, because lime is sour. It's not as sour as lemon, but it's still quite sour. So that is one of my favorite bakes, lime and coconut cake, or all-in-one recipe. Let me know in the comments if you like lime. Do you like lime? And is this a recipe you would try? Until next time, cake lovers.